Okay guys, thought I'd show you what I've done to the corner of my garage. And this was a space that was being utilized for storage essentially, and I decided I just wanted to clean it all out. I had everything there from bagged clothes to donate to charity, to stacks of old telephone books, recycling bins, an old dresser that should have been thrown away years ago, any number of items. I won't go through the entire list, but that was space that could be better used. So I spent yesterday morning bagging that up, organizing it, tossing what I needed to toss, storing what I needed to store somewhere else. And I thought that this corner would be good for a workbench. Now I've got workbenches in my workshop, but you know, this would be fairly short, and I wanted to build one that was collapsible or storable in some way, so not a permanent fixture workbench. So what I decided to do was to come out here and get a few measurements. And so I essentially measured from that corner all the way across here to that stud, and it's about 51 inches. So I decided I was going to use basically a 51 inch long work surface and 30 inches deep. And so I went to the workshop to see what sort of plywood I had. I wanted to use 3/4 or something close. Didn't have any plywood, nothing but Luan, except for that 1/4 inch and what I had right down there, which is subfloor underlayment particle board. So I said, well, you know, it'll work. Can't use one of them by themselves, so bought some liquid nail and a few other things I'll point out in a second, and sandwiched those together, screwed them together, and I think it'll be more than sufficient. But I did work up a real basic list of items that I needed. The 2x4s I already had, all the screws I already had. Those 2x4s are some I had left over and was working with in the construction of the greenhouse. I knew I needed some eye bolts and some quick links. So right there's the eye bolt, right there's the quick link. So I bought 4 eye bolts, 4 quick links, and they had bagged up a section of this chain, 10 feet. Yeah, it was $9.95. And the eye bolts, the quick link, and the chain all had working maximum loads of between 650 and 800 pounds. So I mean, I knew that would be more than sufficient, but I had to have the size in case I wanted to put a bench vise up there temporarily or whatever. So that's what I did. I had the hinges already, so I essentially bought the liquid nail, 1 tube, the 4 quick links, 4 eye bolts, and that 10-foot length of chain. Everything else I had. So that entailed the 2x4s, the 1/4 inch plywood, and that 3/4 inch subfloor underlayment particle board. So sort of worked this out in my mind as I was building it. I initially was going to hinge it so that the work table would drop, but today when I was figuring out how I was going to do it, I said, you know what, I think I'll hinge it on the top so I can turn it or flip it up against the wall. That way it'll leave the base down there free. So I like that. I'm glad I made that decision. Also, there's a receptacle right there, easy to plug in whatever I need to plug in, air compressor, tools. One of the things that I am going to have to do is I'm going to have to run an overhead light there because there's not enough light. In the daytime, yes, but that'd be just during the peak of the day. So I'm going to have to run and wire for an overhead light. So I think what I'll do is I will put this camera on the tripod and go over and show you how I decided I was going to complete this so that I could flip it up and attach it to the wall without any more hardware, anything too difficult to do. So I'll show you how I went about doing that. And I think it's zoomed in well enough. Maybe zoom in just a little bit more. That's probably too much, but anyway, I'll show you what I did. So, I come over here and just push up on it, and I already have the quick link there. I also noted the link in the chain with blue painter's tape, the link that I was going to use. And so you just lift up the chain link and the quick link. Trying to do this so you can see it, and just do that, and that'll keep it up. This also gives you an idea of how I constructed the bottom. And I did double up here because I went through the 2x4s with that eye bolt, so that gives it extra strength. Did the same thing here on this side. This is a 2x6. It's just what I had left over. I didn't want to go get a new 2x6, but that gives us the stability in the middle. 2.5 inch screws, 3 inch here where it needed to be. And of course I did the same thing. I haven't cut this chain yet, but it's not really going to leave me enough to do anything with. I may cut it later to just make it a little neater. But it went pretty quickly once I decided what I was going to do, but it is very sturdy. I'll feel comfortable with that. So I'm going to undo it. All you have to do is push up on it, go over here, drop it. There you have it. Nice little work surface. It does stow away. Again, pretty easy. Doesn't weigh that much. 4 hinges, gives it plenty of strength. Those eye bolts through 3 inches. Chain rated 650 to 800 pounds. Again, I can't remember what was what as far as the rating goes. But pretty neat little stowable work surface. So hope that helped. Hope that gave you an idea. Maybe you can do the same thing in your garage. Talk to you later.